8-6. Stop. 8-6. Writing linear equation. Just leave it. Put it on top of that book. Ignore it for now. Okay. 8-6. Writing linear equations. Now, tell me, what is the form for a linear equation? What's function form though?
Where the y is on one side and the x.
Okay, but we talk specifically about a linear equation that's in a certain form. What is that form called and what is it? Slope intercept, and what does it look like?
Looks like
Y equals what?
y equals
something x.
2x.
Y equals something x plus something. What goes here?
Any
one.
number.
Any number.
No.
Negative.
It's a
A
specific,
positive.
if it's
Slope.
slope, 0. Okay. It's slope intercept, so y equals
Oh,
my
no.
slope times x plus what? What letter do we represent with it there? Y equals mx plus
P. I mean,
Plus,
not P.
you're wrong.
plus b. Slope intercept. This being my slope, right? And this being my y-intercept. Guys, stop talking. So today, you're going to need to be able to put equations into slope-intercept form. Meaning, if they give me a slope and they give me an intercept, or if they give me points, I have to be able to come up with all of that to write equations. Okay? So if I want to write an equation, this is the simplest version you're going to get today. You want to write an equation of the line with a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of -7. How do you write that? What card?
4, 0, 3.
No, I want an equation of the line that has a slope of 3 and an intercept of -7.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes.
Why is it supposed to be 3 times x?
Yeah, y equals 3x
Plus -7.
plus -7. Okay? In your book, they're probably going to write it this way, y equals 3x minus 7. These are the same thing right here. Okay? Either way, it's the same thing. Okay? I put my slope in where the m is. I put my y-intercept in where the b is. Whatever sign is with my y-intercept stays in that equation. So if it's a positive sign, I can just put a plus. If it's a negative sign, I can just write a negative. Okay? That's going to be the simplest form of what you're doing tonight. You're putting stuff into y equals 4, into slope-intercept form. Okay? That's when it tells you, here's the slope, here's the intercept. Now, if it gives you a graph with 2 points, and it says write an equation of this line, what are the 2 things I need to know to write an equation of the line? What, Emma? The slope and the y-intercept. Do I know my slope right now?
No.
No. Can I find my slope?
Yes.
How?
3 minus 2 and 0 minus 4.
Yes. Change in y over change in x. What's 3 minus 2? Guys, stop and focus.
What?
1. And what is 4 minus 0? 4. So now I can start writing my equation, yes? Y equals what?
Y
1/4
equals
times
1/4 x. Now, do I know my y-intercept? Yes, I do.
It's 3.
It's 3. My y-intercept is right here on the graph. It's 3. So I'm going to put plus 3. I don't know why you continue to run your mouth, Emmanuel, but close it now.
Oh. Wait. Do you have to solve it?
No, it just wants the equation. Okay? So, first type of creating the equation is if they give us a slope and an intercept, I literally plug into the m and to the b. Second type is if they give us 2 points. One of those points will be your y-intercept. Okay? They're not going to just give you 2 points because then you can't create it because you don't know enough information yet. Okay? So you have to use slope formula, which is change in y over change in x. And then you find your slope, you plug it in, you plug your y-intercept in. The next form is when they say, write an equation of a line parallel to the line y equals 4x minus 8 and passes through the point 0, 2. Okay, I need a slope and I need an intercept to create a line, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If something is parallel, what does that mean?
Yes, they're the same, or
So-
they
Yes.
never touch.
They never touch,
They're
but
equally, and they're going off of
They have the same slope?
yes, they have the same
parallel.
slope. Because that's what we care about right now, because we're creating a line, an equation. We're creating an equation, we're not graphing the line. So we care about what the slope is. So if the slope is the same, I can start this equation because it's going to be y equals what?
Y equals 4x.
4x. Okay, now stop. Stop. And it says, and it passes through the point what?
0.
So what is my y-intercept now? 2. So now I've created an equation that is parallel to the given equation they give me that passes through the point of 0, 2. Okay? What?
So we don't do anything with the 8.
No, nothing with the 8. It is useless to us at this moment. Okay? Now it says write an equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line of y equals negative 5x plus 1. And it passes through the point of 0, negative 9. Do I know what my slope is going to be?
It's gonna be the opposite of the slope.
It's going to be the opposite reciprocal. The opposite reciprocal. Yeah. Okay. Kate, stop talking. Marshall, stop talking. Yes, you are. So what is the opposite reciprocal slope of y equals negative 5x plus 1?
Negative y equals 5x plus negative.
Nope. The opposite reciprocal.
Oh, 1 over 5.
Yes, 1 over 5. Don't forget, it's the opposite reciprocal. So if it's a whole number, it's going to become a fraction. And sometimes it depends what the fraction is. If there's a 1 on top, it's going to be a whole number. But if it's not, it's just flipping. Okay? So I get y equals 1/5 because that's the opposite reciprocal.
Negative 1/5.
No, because this is negative 5. So it's the opposite of the sign and the reciprocal. Okay? Opposite reciprocal. So y equals 1/5 x, and then what's my y-intercept?
Minus 9.
Minus 9.
Minus 9.
Because it says
Nine,
passes
nine, nine.
through the point of 0, negative 9. This is my equation. Okay? So, to recap, they give us a slope, they give us an intercept, I plug it into M and B. They give us 2 points, I find the slope, one of those points is the y-intercept, I plug in and go. They give us something that's parallel, which means the slopes are the same, and they give us a new point that it passes through, I plug that information in. They give us a line that is perpendicular, which means the slopes are the opposite reciprocal. I plug that in and the new point that they give me. Then I get to take tables of data.
Oh.
Okay? The table shows a bamboo plant's growth over 8 hours. Show that the table represents a linear function. Write an equation for the function. So you guys told me my equation for a function of linear form is y equals mx plus b. Mx plus b. Don't forget that. So I have to find a what? What is this? Slope, and I need to find a what? Y-intercept. Or else I cannot create this, correct? Okay. So I have to find a slope and I have to find a y-intercept. Now,
Yeah.
I need to do two things first to kind of do this. First, we're going to make something called a scatter plot. What,
Oh.
Carter?
Oh wait, I was thinking something.
What's a scatter plot mean I'm doing?
It's a plot that's scattered.
It means I'm just plotting points, right?
What?
Guys, stop. Stop right now. I'm tired of it. Stop. Okay, I'm going to count by twos. Got it?
I'll try.
So if I'm counting by twos, I plug this in at 0, 6. 2, 4, 6, right? 0, 6. 2, 10. 2, 6, 8, 10. 4, 14. I'm sorry. This should be 4, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
There it is.
6, 18,
8:22.
and then 8, 22. Okay, so my scatter plot looks like this, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I know my y-intercept? What is it, Corey? Look at this data here.
It's
Your-
4.
What, Carter?
Yes.
No, no.
How's it not?
You have a y-intercept already.
Isn't it 4?
Stop. Think about what it means. What, Emma? It is 0, 6. Your y-intercept means that your x is always going to be 0, and then it's whatever goes with that. So my y-intercept is right here. Y-intercept. Okay? So what do I need to make this equation still?
You need,
A slope. I need a slope. How can I find slope?
you can go.
Subtract change in y over change in x, right? Okay. Now here's the key. It does not matter what set of 2 points I choose from this data. Doesn't matter. Okay? I can choose any 2 and do change in y over change in x. Okay? So what?
If you go like 2 and then.
You mean could you count also? You could, yes. I could count and say, okay, this went up to 4 and over 2, right? So what would be my slope? If it went up to 4 and over 2, my slope would be 4 over 2, which reduces to,
1/2. No, 2 over 1.
yeah, 4 over 2 reduces over to 2. Okay, let's check and see if that's our slope. Okay? Because you could count. So let's check. Let's just take this point here, and let's just take this point here. Okay? So I'm going to do 18 minus 6, right? CJ, stop. Marshall, stop. Don't say you're not doing anything. Shut your mouth. I know it. Emmanuel, stop. So I have 18 minus 6, and I have 6 minus 0, yes? What's 18 minus 6?
12.
And what's 6 minus 0? What's my slope? So can I count? And can I do change in y over change in x? Okay? Sometimes change in y over change in x is easier because the counting is going to get really weird and big. Okay? So you can do it either way. So now, what is my equation?
Y equals 2x.
Yep. And what was my y-intercept?
6.
6.
6.
Plus 6.
Plus 6. Plus 6. Okay? Hey, listen. Your brains are starting to work and grasp this. But you're going to have to slow your brain down on your homework so that you can do this right. Okay? Don't rush through anything.
So we can take any points from the graph?
You could take any 2 points from the graph, yes. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Marshall, I'm up here. The math problem's up here that you're going to have trouble with later. Maybe you should focus and look. Okay. Now, the next thing is called the best fitting line. Okay? Best fitting line is a line that lies as close as possible to the data points. So it might not cross through all of them, but it's going to get pretty close to them. Okay? We're just coming up with a rough estimate of what that line would be, what that growth looks like. Okay? So if I have data like this, 0, 110, 1, 117, 2, 125, 3, 144, 148, 5, 158, 6, 168, 7, 177. Here's what that data stands for. It's a table that shows the number of female physicians in the United States from 1992 to 1999. 0 representing 1992. Okay? 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Okay? They'll do that quite frequently. Would it be better to graph 0 or 1992?
0.
Right. So they'll give it the starting point 0 and work from there. What, Carter?
Now, does mostly the y-axis stand for time and this sort of
Yes. So on this, my x-axis is the years. My y-axis is the female physicians. Okay. So x is years. This is females. Okay. Now they want us to approximate the equation of the best fitting line. Approximate an equation. So if I'm making an equation, what does that have to look like?
Y equals blank.
Y equals mx.
Plus B.
Okay, let's start with this. Do I have a y-intercept? Do I have a v?
Yes.
What is it?
110.
110. So I can at least identify that. My b equals 110. How can I find a slope?
Pick any two plot points and.
Okay, yeah. So I can plot these points and I can count, and or I can pick any two sets of data and do change in y over change in x. Any two. Doesn't matter, Kate. Doesn't matter. Okay? So if I plot this, right? 0's like 110. I'm sorry. 0's 110. 2 is like 125. Or 1 is 117. 2 is 125. 3 is 140, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and we would label this, of course, but I'm just kind of making it so that it's a rough sketch. Okay, now on this one, this would be difficult to count up and over, up and over. Okay, that would be crazy to try to do. So, we're going to use slope is change in y over change in x. What 2 points do you want to choose?
1 and 1 and 2.
Let me,
7
okay, you want to choose 7 and 2?
like 7
Right. Okay, that's fine. Let's just go with random point. Let's choose this and let's choose this because they're a little bit further apart too, so it's going to give us a better idea. So I'm going to set up, what's my what goes up top?
7 minus 2.
No. Change in
177
Y.
over 177 minus
177 minus 125 over 7 minus 2. What's 177 minus 125?
5. No.
You went harder.
Whoa!
The one on bottom is 5. What? 52?
Mad when she got partnered up with CJ.
Okay.
CJ should have been mad.
Stop. It's 52 over 5. 52 over 5, okay?
No wonder y'all came in last.
So I get 52 over 5. Now remember, I said leave it as a fraction because when we go to graph stuff, it makes it easier, yes? Okay. Would you like to graph that and count up 52 over 5? So do you see why it's easier to put it in change in y over change in x? Okay. So what is my equation then? Y equals what?
52 times x.
52 over 5x plus 110. There's the approximation of that equation, okay? That's my best fitting line. That's as close as I'm going to get to figuring out what this is like. Now, it says predict the number of female physicians in 2005. How would I do that? What, Carter? What year does 0 represent?
1992.
1992. So 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000 would be 8, 2001 would be 9, 2002 would be 10, 2003 would be 11, 2004 is 12, and 2005 is what? 13. So what am I going to do with 13? Look, what does the years represent? X. Do I have an X in this equation? Yes. So I plug in, yes. So if I say y equals 52 over 5 times 13 plus 110, what is that when I do that?
Oh, I got this week. Oh, gosh. He said, oh, gosh.
Nope, that's way too big.
676 over 5. 13 over 1.
No. What'd you say it was?
I said 676 over 5.
Okay, so wait, why did you do 676 over 5? Did you do 13 times 52 and get 676?
Yeah.
Great, divide it by 5 now.
Wait, no!
And
Go
stop.
like that.
Stop.
You got it.
You're not done. Jason, shut up. You're not done. What do you have to add to that? Yes.
That is 245.
245.2.
Okay, can I have 245.2 people?
No.
So what am I gonna do?
245.
Approximately 245.
Why couldn't you have done it?
Because I can't have 0.2 of a person.
Wrong.
What, Kate? Where did I get 13 from? Because 0 represented 1992, so I have to count up from there to 2005. Because it says so in the directions in the book. They'll tell you, or you'll create it. Like anytime it's a year, I suggest you just take whatever the first year is and represent it with 0. Okay, and then work your way up. Because we don't want to graph 1992, that would be insane. 1,992 would be hard to graph. Okay, so just represent it with 0 and start from there. Okay, so one last recap. First thing you have to do is put stuff into slope-intercept form when they give you a slope and they give you an intercept. The next thing you have to do is put stuff in slope-intercept form when they give you 2 points. One being your intercept, you must find your slope doing change in x, change in y over change in x. Then you have to come up with equations that are parallel or perpendicular to. What?
I just had a question there in a second. How'd you just know it was 3? So you have better than 2?
What are you talking about on this problem?
Yeah.
Because the y-intercept is 0, 3. Okay? Then you have to come up with equations that are parallel or perpendicular to, meaning if it's parallel, it has the same slope, but you're going to look at the new point they give you. And if it's perpendicular, the slope is the opposite reciprocal, and you're going to look at the new point they give you. Then you come to data tables. One of the pieces of data they give you should be your y-intercept, meaning wherever x equals 0, that's my y-intercept. From there, I pick 2 random points of data to find my slope, change in y over change in x, and I create my equation. I can also graph it and count the spaces up and down. Up, down, or left, right. Okay? So that is what you are working on your homework tonight.